Hi, Cass.
Hi.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh my goodness.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We're starting a little later because of technical difficulties because we changed from one tool to another tool to be able to do this and offer a better experience for our clients and people who are watching. And it took us a little longer than I thought to jump on, but I'm glad we're here.
Better late than never.
I know, that's what I thought. We were like, should we reschedule? Should we not? Nope, we're on.
Yeah.
I feel like just showing up, right? Showing up is very important. So good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Cass, are you watching? If people are watching already, so we can get started.
I have it logged in right next to us so we can see how many people are on.
I just don't want to get started with all the information if we don't have many people because we're late, so some people might have jumped off. How many people do we have on right now?
Right now we just have 2. So if we want to give it a second.
Yeah, let's give 2.
Yeah.
Welcome to those 2 that are logged in. Thank you. We're going to definitely talk about a really, really sensitive topic right now because we are in seller's market. So we're going to answer some questions that are the most common out there. So Cass and I are going to try to do that. And then we're going to, towards the end, say the 5 top things somebody needs to do in a seller's market to be able to win their dream home or investment property.
Yeah, I think this is a hot topic nowadays right now.
It is. It's a really good topic. It's a healthy topic. It's a topic that we'd rather have than other topics when it comes down to real estate. So I'm super excited about it. And I think, people need to be informed and educated that it's not the end of the world. You can still win a home. Don't give up, but you just need to know the tools and have the right people by you to guide you through that process. Right, Cass?
Definitely. You don't want to do it by yourself.
No. How was your week?
Good. So far, so good. And then after this, I'm running to 3 different cities.
Yeah.
So busy day after this.
Good. Me too. My first destination after this is Parma.
Oh, see, I'm going close after this. I'm going just to Willoughby first. So
very cool.
First one.
Well, I feel like our week, I loved our week because it was not only busy normal stuff, but we had Red Day on Thursday, which is so fun. That was really fun.
A lot of fun. Different than our usual Red Days, but
yeah. Usually, for those that don't know, Keller Williams Red Day is like a big deal that we all spend together very often, not just even with our team, but with bigger, like our actual office with other co-brokers. And it's a really fun day that we volunteer and give back. But due to current situation, we couldn't be all together. So everybody kind of split up and picked their own thing. And we did a fun thing giving back to the police departments that we live in and the fire department. So that was really cool. It was good to see their faces and being totally surprised and thankful. That was really fun.
Definitely. No, surprised, very thankful. They took pictures with us. It was nice.
I know. I took my kids with me. I'm surprised you didn't take your kids with you. I thought you would.
No, I was coming from an appointment beforehand, so I had just to had time to meet Ashley.
You did. You're right. I forgot you had to go to Columbia Station. I forgot about that. Yeah. I took my kids. I was like, you know what? I know you have school today, but we've been doing this homeschooling thing for enough time. Let's do something different. So it was a good volunteer thing for them to be out and see, something different than just books.
Yeah.
Well, do we have enough people to get started, or we'll just get started no matter what?
We have about 7 people right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining our topic today on our coffee talk, which we're super excited. Cass and I want to do this as long as we can, hopefully every Saturday at 9:30. That's the slot. That's the plan. And our goal is to drink some coffee. And what's your mug today, Cass, by the way?
Wake up and be awesome.
Oh, I love it. No go to daddy talk today.
No, not today.
We're not as frustrated today. Anyway, so we're going to talk about a topic called 5 best ways to beat competition to your dream home or investment property. Obviously, we work with a lot of investors. So let's just get started. So I'm going to start with actually just really kind of interviewing Cass and just asking some questions, and I'll jump in. So between Cass and I, we have easily over 20 years of experience. So I've been in real estate for 6 years. Cass has been around 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, 8 years.
8 years in real estate. So it is definitely experience matters. And we both are very experienced from different points. So we've worked with a lot of buyers and sellers, but today's goal is to just educate you on what needs to be done on the buy side. Okay. So Cass, tell people who are just starting to watch before we go into the 5 type, how's the market been in general? Like what have you been seeing so far this year?
So far this year, especially, in the last couple of weeks, it's definitely the seller's market again. My buyers are all still there, even with everything going on. Everyone's still looking to buy a house. So nothing's really slowed down on the buy side.
Awesome.
It's just finding the right house for my client in the seller's market. That's kind of what we're seeing right now, trying to get into those homes right away. Definitely with it being a seller's market, it's you got to be quick.
Yeah, it's a very, very valid point. We'll talk about it more, but yeah, responding, there is no, let's wait till Sunday, let's wait till Saturday, let's wait till your day off, right, Cass? It's
right.
The house goes on the market and you better run to at least look at it, or there's a really good chance in a couple of days max it'll be gone already.
Yeah.
Can you just go over just like some basic stats just so people know what's happening? Like how much inventory do we have, average days in the market? Just
yeah. Well, right now is from year to date, I believe we have 2 months of inventory. So in these 5 months, there's only been about 2 months of inventory to sell for sellers. That's all there's been on the market. And then days on the market, the average is around is under 60 days for days on the market. And I think that's Northeast Ohio as a general, right, Ina?
Yeah. For most part, in most areas, most houses sell within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So it's really, really, really fast. But in general, if you look at all of it is around 60 days. The really quick back about inventory, I think it's important to make sure that whoever's listening, if they don't know what that means, when we say there's about a 2 months of inventory in the market, what that means, it means that if no other house goes on the market from this point on, and whatever's left, it's going to take 2 months to sell all of it out, versus in a market that is not a sell. So anything under 3 months, 3 months or less is considered a seller's market. So when we say 1.5 to 2 months, that means the inventory is very, very low and it sells really. In the markets of 2008, 2009, there was easily 1.5 to 2 years of inventory. And that's when you saw there was the opposite, which was a buyer's market. So 3 months or less is on a next level aggressive. Anything under 6 months, honestly, of inventory is considered a healthy market. We're at about 1.5 months of inventory right now.
Yeah.
So just want to go. All right, next question. What does a seller market mean again? Just if you can.
So the seller's market means is there's not enough houses on the market for the buyers. There are definitely more buyers than sellers, 100%. We need more houses on the market. We need more sellers. There needs to be more inventory.
Correct. Yeah. And honestly, we've been getting so crazy and creative with trying to find our buyer clients' houses from. We used to do just door knocking, literally door knock on people's houses, but because of COVID, we don't want to get shot when we do that. So we've been doing ads and sending mailers out and just reaching out via phone and emails to people who are not even on the market, just saying, have you thought about selling? Because we can't find a house for people. So if you love your home and you want to live in your home, you should stay in your home. But if you have any thoughts or ideas that you want to move, this is the time to capitalize on it.
Definitely time to do it.
For sure. All right. So something that a lot of people, unless they're in the industry, do not understand, like the different types of roles a realtor can do. When they hear the word realtor, they think of everything. And we are licensed to do everything, right? We're allowed to practice real estate in Ohio. We can help buyers. We can help sellers. We're even licensed to help with commercial. We're can help investors. Like we are able to do all of that. However, Distinct Home Group decided to go a different route and made it very specialized type of team where everybody in the team has a very specialized role to be able to help that particular person in the best possible way. So Cass, your role in our team is a buyer specialist. What does that mean?
Yes. I love my role. I'll start off saying that. I love what I do. Buyer specialist is that's my main focus. Like, Ina and I do this full time. This is all we do 24/7 pretty much. I focus on buyers, what the buyers' needs are, what their wants are, how I could help them, how I could work with them to find their dream home. That is my main focus 100%.
Yeah. So the reason when I started this company, this team, why I believed in that specialist role is because I do believe in hiring experts and hiring somebody who is putting their full attention to what they're doing. And what I've learned from a lot of education and reading, that when people are too spread out in what they're doing, they're not bad people by any means. They're just too spread out. So they either can't focus because they just can't learn so much information, or if they're smart and they can learn, not smart, but if they're capable of learning a wide range, they just physically don't have enough time in a day to be able to give everybody the amount of attention something needs. To help a buyer find a house is on a next level time consuming. Right, Cass?
You have to be patient. It's time consuming. You have to be aggressive at some point. So, you got to be all of that. And that's why I like doing just that, because that can be my main focus with them.
Correct. There's just when we say you need to jump in and run to go look at a house, well, if you're not specialized on only helping a buyer, but you're also helping this seller and you have a commercial property that you sell, you just physically can't be everywhere. So it is super important, and we are sticking with it as long as we can to continue to have everybody in our team to be specialized in a specific role within real estate, to be able to give the consumer the best experience and the time they need to be able to get what they need. All right. Question that I have, number 4. I have a couple more questions and we'll dive into the 5.
Yeah.
What struggles do you currently experience in the seller's market?
So it is a little different now with what's going on with it being a seller's market and what has gone on. Sometimes it could be more difficult to get into the home if it's a hot home. If it just came on the market, if someone lives there, they might not be doing overlapping showings. So there can only be one agent there at a time. Depending on what time block they do, it could only be like a half an hour you can spend at the home. So if we don't see that home right away, we might not get a time slot in there right away. So we might be 1 or 2 days after it's on the market getting into the home. So then it could lead to, are we too late and it's going to be under contract? There might be multiple offers by the time we see it. So that, I think, is one of the main things. Seeing it when it first comes on the market, making sure we get in there right away, and having enough time to make sure if we do want to write an offer, we have time to get that in there before it's gone.
Yeah, no, so true. So just a really good example that I can give, just recent on one of our listings that we had go on market, but we had 24 showings scheduled in 2-day period, and we had 8 offers that came in the first day that it was on the market. So that, and it, just like Cass said, the slots were every 30 minutes. People were able to show a house, but as she mentioned, we don't allow overlapping, and really nobody should at this point, to minimize, a lot of people in the house. But with that said, the Sunday showings couldn't even happen. I mean, because at the end of the day, the sellers were done. They were very satisfied with what they had. And as much as we would like to be courteous to buyers on a different day, and the next day, we have to respect what the seller wants. And when a seller says, I have 8 offers and I like this one, we have to follow it. So yes, as soon as something hits the market, you got to run. You got to run, and you got to get the slot in.
I have a showing on Sunday. My client couldn't go until Sunday afternoon. I got an email late last night saying there's already multiple offers. They're deciding Sunday at 3. I think our appointment's at 1. So I already had to prep my client saying, this is what's going on. We can either get in there sooner, or, if we see it at 1 o'clock and you love it, we have to write something up then. We have to do it right away.
Yeah.
So,
Cass, how do you feel like being in the field when you're that's obviously very nerve-wracking, right? For a buyer to feel that pressure, like, if I don't see right now, I'm going to lose, or I have to do this. How do you handle that? And what do you feel like you do to try to make sure that they they don't get discouraged and walk away from the process.
Yeah. So I think it's, especially with us, it's being prepared and them knowing beforehand. So anytime I work with the buyer, we sit down, we meet before we look at houses, and we go over the whole process. And, in today's market, the conversation is a little different, and letting them know how the market is, what's going on, days on the market in the area they're looking for, and the possibility of what could happen if we see that house that same day or the day later and we're in multiples, is going over every scenario that could happen, just so they know and they're prepared. And if it's not a surprise when it happens.
Yeah.
They know and they're way prepared ahead of time of what's going on.
Yeah. So it sounds like what you're saying is just really setting the right expectations up front with them, and making sure they know everything, so that they don't take it personally. So they don't think that they're doing something wrong or they shouldn't be buying. It's just, that's the market we're in. So unless you just don't want to buy a house right now, which I think is still silly with rates of 2.99, you should not take it personally. Just know that you have to have a right agent to help you through that process.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a last question. You kind of dove into it already, so you might have to repeat, and then we'll dive into the 5 top. But what do you specifically do to position clients for a positive experience in finding and winning their dream home or investment property?
Yeah. So like the last question, when we sit down, I have a buyer consultation with them.
I was going to say, walk me through that. Like you talk to somebody first. Yeah.
A client calls, a past client, a referral, even if it's someone that wants to go see a house that we don't know, it's a couple questions on the phone, getting to know them, where they're at in the process, and then meeting with them and doing a buyer presentation. So we'll go over, every step from beginning to end. We'll go through the process, the market, what they're looking for, their pre-approval, how to do that, just so they know everything. It could be a lot of information the first time that we meet, and they usually have questions afterward, or while we're looking at houses, or while they're getting pre-approved. But they have all their information at the beginning, and then questions as we're going along that they may think of, as we start that process.
Yeah. I think just to add to it, because obviously I know what Cassie does, is that being organized and having a folder and a prepared plan drawn out for people from A to Z, how to get them through it, that Cassie is really, really good at meeting with people, beginning and doing.
Yeah. And I'll meet with people that, have worked with another agent before, or maybe I've seen a couple houses with another agent. And, even if I'm meeting them for the first time, and because they call them one of our listings, or, I just got a referral call and I don't really know them, I go over that every time, and they appreciate it because no one's ever taken the time to do that with them.
Yeah. So buyer consultation, buyer analysis, giving them a roadmap, a detailed plan, educating them from A to Z from the beginning versus choppy through the process when they're confused by what it is your skill. So that's awesome. All right. Well, let's dive into the top 5. I'm going to put them on the board so people can see, and then we can just discuss that as we go.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of more things beyond these 5 that we do.
A little longer, but this is what we have time for.
Yeah, that we do. There's at least 10 or 11 steps and different things that you as the buyer, or whoever we're working with, doesn't need to worry about, that we handle for you to get the job done. But we wanted to identify and give today's listeners the top 5. If you are not working with us and you're working with another realtor, that you are aware of, to be able to tell your realtor, if they're not telling you, of what needs to be done for you to be able to win a house, buy a house, move into the house, and enjoy that house. Okay. So number 1,
pre-approval letter. That's your main thing. That's what you need to even submit an offer. So even with us, your pre-approval letter, I could work with someone that has already received a pre-approval letter from, someone I don't know, or a Quicken Loans, just a quick pre-approval letter that they got, which could work. and it would work. But working with us, we have preferred lenders that we work with, which, we do recommend reaching out to them, seeing if there's better rates or programs that they offer. And then not only that is, we know the service they'll provide. We know the customer service they'll do. They'll answer our calls nights and weekends if we need to. If I need to get a pre-approval pretty quick, I know who to call to get that pretty quickly instead of waiting on a lender I don't know. So I think that's your first main part.
Absolutely. If I can just add really quick, because that's how important pre-approval is. Not all pre-approvals are created equal, okay? Yeah. They're not.
I was going to say not all lenders are created equal.
Not all lenders, not all realtors, no plumbers are created, no electrician, no nothing is created equal. So one of the things that we are very knowledgeable on is who are the top lenders who are going to not only provide the rate and the things that a normal buyer cares about. Two things: what are my fees and what's my interest rate? That's all they pay attention to. And those are two really, really important things that we care about. But what the buyer doesn't know, that we need to make sure they're educated on: will that lender close on time? Will that lender respond to us at 7 o'clock on a Sunday when we need something different that the agent is asking to win a bid? Will they actually communicate appropriately and educate up front and close on time? I mean, there's so many other factors that are involved that are beyond interest rate. Overall, because it is so regulated, for most part, most lenders have similar rates, similar closing costs, here and there a little bit. It's the difference in the service response and delivering upfront. Like when I say call blah and that person has a pre-approval from that, it's like gold. It's like my gold card, right, Cass? It's our gold card. Like we are going, like this is going to close no matter what. So there's just a piece of paper and there's a gold piece of paper. We want to make sure you get gold, because when we're submitting an offer and we put that gold piece of paper on top and saying this is top notch and this lender has never disappointed, when there's 8 offers, every little inch,
every detail counts.
Every tiny little thing makes a difference, and you do not want to miss a beat on any of them. So you submit an offer and there's 8 offers and you have no pre-approval letter, or it's not from a good lender, you have no shot. You're done. You're out. All right, let's talk about number 1. What does have a clean offer mean?
I think we mentioned this in one of our other videos, is we don't like being sloppy. We don't like sloppy agents. We like everything clean. Clean offer, I think, with your pre-approval letter is, you need that. Your clean offer is...
Yeah, I was going to say, what does a clean offer mean?
Clean offer, no mistakes by the agent, checking all the boxes that need to be checked. Having the correct information on there. You could have the wrong name or the wrong address on there. There could be mistakes that another agent could put on the offer. Making sure everything's correct. So you're going to go through it, all your check boxes, all your writing, the items that you're asking the seller to leave in the house, those are all checked off. So there's no questions later on either. Clean offer with your pre-approval letter, which I have some things that can be included with that clean offer. Depending on my buyer, I might have them write a personal letter to the seller to go along with everything. They can write a personal letter, a little bit about themselves, why they love the home, to pull at those sellers' heartstrings a little bit, especially if you're in multiples. That always, I think, helps a little bit.
Every little inch matters.
And if they're not comfortable writing a personal letter, anytime I do send over my offer, I do that. I'll write a little bit about them, that they're using my preferred lender, so I know it's going to close on time and that they're solid buyers. A little bit about them, why they did love the home, where they're coming from if they have a little story. So I like to include that. I think, that helps. And then, avoid asking for personal items. Someone might want the pool table or the couch or the hot tub, and, don't include that in your initial offer. If you win the offer and you want to talk about that or negotiate that later on, that's what I recommend. Or
even offer to buy them later on. I mean, that's you can't go, just to be clear, you can't go back afterwards and say, nah, now I want to, your pool table without that. But more of a, hey, by the way, were you thinking of leaving
taking that with you?
Yeah, you think of taking this with you. Most people say, I hate my pool table anyways. You can have it and I don't want to move it, but do it in that way versus upfront you better leave it or I'm not buying this house.
Yeah. Because that'll be, even more clean on your offer. So that's my clean offer when I like to send it over.
Yeah. So I'm going to add a little bit more to the clean offer because I'm a listing
specialist. You see that a lot as well.
I see 120, 150, deals a year with each house having multiple offers. So I review so many buyer contracts every day before I even present to my client. And that's one of the reasons I think besides that, why Cassie's so good is because I constantly talk to her about, hey, here's what I saw. I had 8 offers coming on this house and here's what I saw stood out. Here's a reaction I saw from the seller and how they reacted and which point and where it is. So the 8 offers I just mentioned to you on the house I just wanted a contract, besides that it was clean and organized and everything filled, all the basics were, out of the 8, there was about maybe 2 that were that, okay? They were just clean, organized, put together, good cover letter, everything was good and sent to me in one format versus 20 different attachments and all of that, okay? Which is, by the way, another thing very important. When you're on a listing side receiving 8 offers and they're 48-page contracts and they're like sending multiple different emails, the reason it's like seems like such common sense and it's so weird, like they were even talking about it, but believe it or not, you don't even know your agent is not doing those things and they're submitting it that way and you're losing it just because the listing agent couldn't even coordinate with 20 different emails that came to be able to put the offer together in a proper way to present it.
Yeah.
So knowing that in our mind, any offer we submit in today's market, we are like, there's a good chance they have more than one offer. How do we make the listing agent's job simple to be able to keep it really organized, all in one attachment, all in one file, with the right cover letter, everything filled out so that she can just forward it to her client and then present it to them in a very simple way. So with that said, out of the 2 that my client was in between, there was no question about it. The main reason why they picked the one, which is so to me crazy, because I just feel like a lot of times people are just all about numbers and money and all that. But once they get what they want, after that, there's a next layer of things. And this was a letter. They love the letter. The buyer wrote the sweetest letter of how they grew up in the area and they're coming back and this is their dream home. And they just did it in such a sweet, caring, non-cheesy way. And my client said that she read and she cried and it was a no-brainer for her and that's what she wanted. And believe it or not, there were other offers that were stronger financially that she did not want to consider. She wanted this one because it was organized and the letter was wonderful. So keep that in mind. All right, go to the next topic. Put more money down.
I want to add, while you were talking, it made me like I think the communication, I would have with the listing agent when having that clean offer and sending everything over. I want to make sure I have open communication. As soon as I send the offer over, they're getting a phone call. If they don't answer, I'm sending them a little message, making sure they received it. And then as I send it over, as soon as I send the offer over, I usually send my client, hey, just sent everything over. And then any communication I have, they'll get an update. They said they'll respond by tomorrow afternoon. We should hear something then. So keeping everyone updated throughout that process, I think is good too.
It is a super important. Communication is important in anything in life, but this is again another thing because you're the middleman between so many parties and making sure that everybody's communicated in a healthy way. That's very important because again, there's a healthy level. I have certain agents that literally start stalking me with texts and threats and calls and emails and all of that, and it's wonderful. And I love their passion to win this house for them. But it's crazy too. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting like, at first I'm very respectful and very nice, but after like the 10th call within like 15 minutes, I go, I physically cannot talk to the seller yet. Like I will talk to him. So making sure that your agent has a balance of communication on every part, not too much, not too little, just like anything is super important. And Cass, you're a queen of that. I think I'm pretty good at that, but Cass, you're very, very good at it too. So all right. Put more money down. What does that mean?
So your first page of your offer, has your number section, you know, what your offer price is, your earnest money, which goes towards your purchase, and then your down payment. So if I have a buyer not putting the minimum down, 3.5 or 5, 10%, put that money towards the purchase so we can put it in the offer, because that'll make it even that much stronger. If you're putting $10,000, $20,000 down, write that in there so the seller sees you have the funds to purchase that house.
Correct. So to be clear on that, can you buy a house with little money or no money? There's plenty of programs out there. So that don't misunderstand us that you have to have money and that's why you should stop looking because you're not going to win because you don't have money. That's not the case. We win houses with very minimal down payment and very minimal earnest money, and we present it in the best possible way. We're just saying that if you do have it and you are putting it, make sure the seller is aware of it. So if you have 20% down, let's make sure the seller is aware. Why does it make a difference? Again, when there's multiple offers and one is putting no money and the other one is putting 20% or a cash buyer, right? The seller should know that. And what that means to the seller is just more stable. I mean, that's the thing. More stable buyer. Cass, can you explain to people what is earnest money? I feel like a lot of buyers don't understand what earnest money is and why does it make a difference in general?
Yeah, I always, when we go over that buyer consultation, you know, one of those parts are what kind of funds you need, you know, what kind of money you're looking at. And earnest money is one of those first things that goes toward your house. It's within the first couple days of going under contract. We usually have it held at the title company. And it's kind of like a good faith, We love your house. We want to put this money towards the house now. And then depending on price range, or if they have more money to put down, we'll gauge on how much earnest money we put down. And it'll go, and I always tell them it goes towards everything at the end. You're not losing that money. Nothing's going to happen with that money. It'll
not at all. And it's so crazy. You would not believe how many times I get contracts and offers with $500. You know, 1,000 is a very common one. So to be clear, in Ohio, you do not need earnest money to buy a house. You can actually submit an offer with zero earnest money and good faith money. You could buy it. You can do it. However, where and why we encourage to put more money for earnest money to show the seller, you know, what you're doing is a couple of things. One, shows you how serious you are, right, Cass? Like if you're willing to write a check for something, it shows you're serious. Two, you have nothing to lose. Who cares? If you're putting $5,000 down, put $4 or $5,000 for earnest money. Now there's 4 offers. One is showing $500. One is showing zero. One is showing 1,000. You're putting $5,000 down. They're like, this person really wants my house.
Yes.
They get their money back anyways. Who cares? I don't understand why agents make such a big deal about earnest money and like putting a little. The only way the buyer will lose that money is if they just decided to bail and change their mind.
They're not wanting to purchase.
They're not wanting to purchase. So to me, if I'm your agent and I'm educating through the process and I want to, and you have a problem with writing a check for $2,000 or $3,000, or whatever the earnest money we discuss as a way to position your offer, to me, it's a red flag. Like, are you not loving the house? Are you not ready to buy a house? Do you not have that money saved as much as you thought it was? Yeah, like there's conversation that it opens up to. So it has nothing to do with at that point. And it's more of a consultation at that point that comes in and goes, hey, let's stop back. Let's not run like crazy and let's go buy this, 20 offers and put offers all over. Let's make sure we have you really positioned in a healthy way so you can buy this home in a comfortable way and enjoy this home and live this home and afford this home. So earnest money is a big one, but it's believe it or not, a lot of times people don't put it and it makes them look like they're not serious. Okay, be flexible with seller's timeline. What does that mean?
So being flexible, and if I have an offer I'm writing, sometimes I'll even reach out to the listing agent to gauge where the sellers are at. Do they need to find a house? Are they already gone? What their situation is, and see what kind of time frame they need for closing on the house. And have my buyers try to be flexible with what the seller needs. Do they need a certain date? Do they need a couple days to move out? Do they need to stay there another month after closing? So finding out the seller situation and trying to be as flexible as my buyer can will help being in a multiple situation. If we are, that we can be as flexible as we can.
Absolutely. I again see on my end the flexibility on the buyer's end with the time frame is like on a next level important to the seller, because it's not just at that point, again, financials. It's more of a, my house won't be ready by then. I'm not relocating by then. There's a gap. If there's a gap for people, I would say probably 10% of people don't care and they're very easygoing about, oh, I'll just move into a hotel. I'll just stay with grandma. I'll do this, whatever. But 90% of people, it's a big deal, because not only it's expensive to handle the gap, they're moving twice, they're putting stuff in storage. It causes a lot of stress in their family. And if they have pets, it's a next level to find anything for them. So flexibility with time and figuring that out, what works for the seller, if you are able to work with that, is on a next level crucial. So when I see an offer coming in with a timeline and then they put in a cover letter saying buyer is flexible with seller's timeline, that's like there's music in the background. It's so cool. You know, and if people, my sellers appreciate it right away because they think it's very generous and very kind of them to consider that.
Or even if it's a vacant home. So if you go on the other side and it's vacant and no one lives there, and maybe it's an investor, someone that already did move out, it kind of goes back to that pre-approval letter and getting a lender that, you know, that we work with, because I'll know their time frame, call them, see if they can do a 3-week close, see how quickly they can close. So my buyers can move in sooner, the sellers get their money sooner, and it would make everyone happy.
You're absolutely right. I didn't think about that. You're right. But vacant properties and investment properties, I mean, it's the opposite. It's how quickly can you close? So if we have a pre-approval, that's not just, hey, I verify your basic information, but it's like further along in the process and it just needs an appraisal. Well, we have lenders that can do it in like 21 days.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then we're, you know, when we're submitting that offer, we're making sure that we're clarifying that we can't close in 21 days if your client, you know, if your seller is able to do that. So flexibility with seller's timeline, super important. If you can make that work. All right. Write your best offer from the get-go. What does that mean, Cass?
All right. Not only have your clean offer is very important, but your best offer. Your best offer, we want to make sure we have the best price, the best earnest money. Like being in that multiple situation, you know, the seller might not want to counter everyone. We might not have an opportunity to change anything. So if we don't put our best.
Quick, Cass, I'm going to interrupt on that just because I want to make sure that a lot of people don't realize. It is at the end of the day, seller's choice, whether they want to counter, whether they want to accept, whether they want to not do anything for a little bit. It's their choice. And we have to follow, as a seller, as a listing job agent, is follow their instructions. So you might not even have an opportunity to submit an offer again because the seller just decided to accept.
Right.
And we don't have to even notify. We don't have to even notify. Like when I present offers to the seller and I say, here are your options, and I explain all that to them, by the end, one of the options is we can inform all the agents that have submitted the offer that we have multiple offers so they can go back to their clients. Believe it or not, this is so crazy to me, especially because I feel like people should be like, oh, I can get as much money as I can get. A lot of times people who are not very competitive or don't like to put people in an uncomfortable situation, they don't like that and they don't want it. And I give them that option and they say, nope, I do not want you to inform of other. We would like to accept offer 2. And it's easy, right? I accept offer 2, but then there's 7 other agents that are very, very upset and very confused, and their poor buyers are very upset as well. I mean, I'm very informative tone, but I guess what I'm saying, it's not about me or talking. I'm just giving on the other side, making sure that the buyers are aware. And Cassie does a very good job. And I do when I do work with buyers here and there, very rare, but I do what I did in the past a lot, is I make it very, very clear, depending on the market we're at, that we can't play games sometimes. We just, it's not about just getting a deal. It's not about submitting something, you know, if something is not worth it, and this is where, you know, a good agent needs to educate you. If the house is not worth what they're asking based on comps, based on different things, our job is to educate them and say, I'm just going to give an example. This house is worth 120. It's listed for 130. Based on all the information, this is what it's worth. What do you want? Do you want to buy this house? And if somebody says, I want to buy this house, we hate to say it, even though it's not worth we say we can submit a 120, but there's a really good chance anything under this price point, you're still not going to win it because it's not worth it, because there will be somebody who's not going to care what it's worth because they just want that house. And it's our job to educate them. So at least when we do submit that 120 offer, because that's what it's worth, they're not disappointed in that house, because houses are selling for higher. So it's our job to educate and make sure people in a good position. But right now in a seller's market, it's not very logical when it comes down to that. So put your best offer up front and don't play games, because you won't even have an opportunity to increase it if another good offer comes in.
And then they can't be mad at us if they did want to change it. We already talked to them. And
yeah, and it's not about obviously getting mad or not mad. Our goal is to win and to get the home of their dreams. It's just more of a, as professionals, we want to make sure our clients are really, really informed on all their options. And then they know when they're overpaying, when they're underpaying, when they're getting a good deal, when they're not. And at the end of the day, our job is to get the transaction to closing and make sure everybody is as communicated and as happy as possible.
Yeah.
That's it. Is there anything else I missed? Cass, anything we talked about? Are there any questions?
No questions. Capretta said hi to both of us. And then Pam Fletcher said hi, and she loves her house. And thank you for selling and helping purchase our beautiful home.
Yay. Hi, Rick.
No questions today.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, hopefully people found this interesting, how to buy a house in today's market. And if you are thinking of selling and want to take advantage of this awesome market, please start thinking about it. Reach out to a realtor you feel comfortable. Obviously, hopefully it's us. We'll put our contact information in one of the comments. So you have Cassie's number, my number. Give us a call. We're here to help. And sorry, we're running behind because of our technical, but next week we'll be here on Saturday at 9:30 in the morning with no technical issues. And we'll think of a really cool topic that we hope you guys will find interesting. And if you do think of any topics you would want us to cover, please private messages, put in the comments, and we will prepare and talk about it in our coffee talk.
Yeah.
All right. It's a wrap. Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Cass.
Bye.